God, I've just approved a few people in the
I've got
group.
a couple of... All right, I'm just taking screenshots, so I've got their emails. Right. Hello. Right, I think we're live. I'm just going to give it a moment to see if it comes up on the screen, and then I'm just going to a group. Yes, we are live in the group. That's good.
Fabulous.
Right. Let me just turn the volume down. And we've now got some people coming on. That's lovely. So I'm going to up there so I can see any comments that are made. I'm just taking screenshots. And I'm talking to myself. Lovely. Right. Hello. Hi, Rula. Is how you pronounce her name? It's a lovely name.
Beautiful name.
Rula.
She's a beautiful woman. Well, inside and out. Hi, Cheryl.
Oh, lovely. Hi, Hi, Lee. I can see Lee. Come on. Hi, darling. We saw her. Do you know, I've known Lee for about 15 years, and today was the first time I think we actually spoke, and it was even on virtual, face to face. But at least we're getting closer and closer. It's lovely. I can see quite a few people. I'll give a few minutes so everybody can catch the beginning. Hi, Sue. Hi, Cheryl. Anyway, Dawn, how are you, darling? So you're out of lockdown now. You can get out and about and enjoy the sunshine.
Semi out of lockdown. And do you know what? It's a beautiful day today. The sun is shining. I went for a lovely walk and it was so warm and just wonderful. But we're allowed now to meet outdoors in groups of 6 or 2 households. So it can be more. So it's freedom at last. We can actually get out there, and the sun's come out as well today in celebration, I feel.
That's brilliant, isn't it? At last. Feels like at least we're getting there. Not quite sure where we're getting, but we're getting to a better place.
Definitely.
Right, I'm just keeping an eye. Hi, Celia. Hi, I'm glad, yes, good. You're off as well. As well. Right, I'll give it another, let's see if there's anybody else trying to join the group. I should do that. Anyway, today, hi, Denise. Hi, Georgia. Oh, it's lovely to see everybody, well, more or less to see everybody. It's so lovely seeing people coming on. So today we're going to talk about your quite unique experience. I mean, we all have spirit guides, and some of us are more aware of them than others, but you have a really unique relationship with your guides. So how did this all come about, Dawn? How did you start listening to your guides and realizing it wasn't just, your other voice in your head? How did you start? I've got that many voices in my head. Sometimes it's difficult to think, okay, I know it's you.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Well, do you know what? I feel truly blessed. I really do feel blessed to be able to have a close relationship with my guides. Especially my life guide. And this was something, it wasn't my first awareness of him, but at the time when he very first made himself known to me, I was probably about 11 or 12, and I wasn't aware of what a guide was at that time. I wasn't aware certainly of a life guide, like of a status or hierarchy, if you like, within spirit guides. And so I didn't pay much attention, and it was only one experience that I had then. But when I started my spiritual development, and I sat in circle and we did some meditations, and I felt that I had met one of my guides in meditation, but actually it wasn't until I was in my development for about 18 months, and then I was making it a priority to sit in my own space, sit in my power every single day. And it was through that process that I became aware of my guide. And at that time, I didn't know it was my life guide. That came as we began to communicate, or as he began to communicate with me. And it was a very intense and a very personal experience that I had. And it wasn't something that, it wasn't what I expected. It was something that developed over a period of time. So I know that all sounds a bit like do 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 do, doesn't it? But it sort of just crept up on me.
Yeah. And how do you find your relationship with your guides has influenced your life? You know, how I know even when we're in development, that spiritual way does influence our lives. But with you, with your such strong connection, how does it affect your day-to-day life? That sounds a bit like it's something you affect your day-to-day life.
Well, do you know, it's been a massive, it's had a massive impact on my life, because when I discovered my life guide through, and I'll say meditation instead of the power, but I do mean sitting in the power or finding that personal space. Mm-hmm. Since I established that relationship with him, his impact on me, on my confidence, on my self-esteem was profound. It was incredible. I had a real appetite for him, to understand about him and about his life and what he, what he went through. In the beginning, I was given a lot of healing and a lot of peace, and he taught me how to sit within my own space, to nurture a space of calm. So if there was ever anxiety, that would be the first place I would go to. So he taught me a practice, if you like, of how I could center myself, how I could ground myself. And he was always with me. I could feel his presence with me. And at that time, I'd been in my, as I say, in my development for about 18 months. And a lot of people in circle were progressing quite rapidly. And I'd hit a bit of a roadblock, and I felt very stuck. And it was at that point that my awareness of him really grew, and our relationship grew. And he sort of, that was the point where my development changed completely. My self-belief, my awareness just went poof, just absolutely just ignited. And it transformed me as a person, and it transformed my development as well.
Oh, fantastic. What an amazing experience. And so with this connection that you've had, you've been gaining more and more information about your guide. So let us know his name and a little bit about him. It is really fascinating. I know I've read some of your blogs about him.
Yeah, well, my life guide, his name is One Feather. And he's an American Indian, a native Indian. And I know some people might say that that's a bit of a cliche, that a guide is an Indian or something like that. But I can't change it, and that's who he is. And he comes to me in two forms, shall I say. He comes to me as his younger self, and his name then is Soo, S-O-O. And that is showing me the practice of meditation and stillness, because he comes and offers me the pipe of peace, to share the pipe and to sit and be still. And then he also comes to me as a warrior, where his name is One Feather. So that's when he's older. He had children. He had a wife or a partner. He had a horse that he loved called Star. It was a Palomino horse, had a beautiful star marking on the face. He had a dog called Spot as well. He
Star. You could make it up if you'd wanted
you
to. You would
couldn't.
have been a
You
bit more
couldn't make it
inventive
up.
with the names.
He told me the name of his tribe, and I'm struggling to recall it actually, but I know that they were a peaceful tribe. They were led by peace. They did fight with other tribes, but this was always about land, about food. They would store food, they would search for food, store food in the summer months so they could survive the winter for themselves and for their animals as well. He told me how he would dress his horse for when they went into battle, how they made paint by using oil from leaves on trees and water from the river. And then he would paint the horse, and it would be like a beautiful red colour that he would paint his horse with, especially around the eyes and on his body as well, so that if the horse was injured and he bled, it wouldn't be seen and it wouldn't be a weakness. He just, what's so incredible about it and humbling about it is to understand about a life that's gone before you, and to understand how people lived and a different perspective on things. Like for us, what's important to us, for what was important to them then was about food and community, still community even then. His father was taken by another tribe that he told me about and was killed. His father was hung, and he was taken and he found his father, and he was only a young man at the time. He was only 18 at the time, and it was then that he had to step in and look after his family. He had to step in and look after his mother and the other children, and it was then that he acquired his status as one feather, because he hunted and killed the man that killed his father. And then he got the one feather, which is a sign of a leader or leadership within a tribe. So that's how he gained his name. And it's just, I can't express what it feels like to actually know this information and to gain this information sort of firsthand, not read it in a book, but to be given this information. It's an absolute privilege.
Yeah. Jim Crowley said it's the Lakota tribe. Lakota? I don't know whether that would you recognise? I'm sure there's loads of different tribes. So do you notice the difference? Because you said that he comes into Sue comes in to help with your meditation and to hold space. So do you find that they've helped in your work, developing your mediumship skills and your connection within your spiritual work?
I mean, certainly. I mean, it was one feather. So from 18 onwards, that came to me first. And his calling card was a hand symbol that he showed me. So whenever I got the symbol, because I work quite heavily within clairsentience, so it's all about feeling. And that's how he was transferring a lot of the information to me. So I would understand when one feather was with me. Now, when Sue comes in, he's a lot younger, and he comes to my heart space here. He holds my heart space here, makes a fist like this as well. So this is Sue, and this is one feather. I can't see it properly. And so my awareness of them, I know when they come in, I know what their calling card is. But if I'm stressed or if I need to slow down, Sue will come in. And Sue comes in and draws me to be still and passes me the pipe. So I have, when I've sat in my power or in my meditation, obviously because I do move a lot, and I'm like, yeah, okay, there's the pipe, it's sort of my turn. He's absolutely there to center and ground me. And because my life can be quite frantic, and it's about finding the time and the space to sit. Sue is really about that part of my development, whereas One Feather has been all about the confidence building and about I mean, when we talk about our guides, I always laugh about my guides because they don't hold back. Like, I have a good relationship with my guides, but if I'm sort of doing something that I don't mean isn't quite right, but if I'm doing something that they feel I should be paying more attention to different things, they will tell me. And so One Feather is he, when he came in, he said to me that I have good intentions, but my personality needs work. And I would only take that from someone like him. I wouldn't take that from anybody else. So yes, he's helped me in that way, in guiding me in seeing things from a broader perspective, not just seeing things from my point of view. So when I've turned to him in situations where I've wanted guidance, he always shows me the bigger picture so that I can understand how I feel about the situation, but that I can also understand what drives other people to make their decisions, and that it's not necessarily about me, but it's about them and how they're dealing with their own stuff. So he's taught me a lot of tolerance and patience, which has been really important.
And it sounds, because when he came into your life when you were younger, you probably weren't in the space to be able to listen to a lot of his advice, slow down and meditation and compassion. So it sounds like now, it goes hand in hand with your spiritual development. That now is the time where you're more ready, more receptive to everything that he's bringing in. How wonderful. Because he not only brings in things into your everyday life, but he channels quite a lot of messages through you. So I know you've got sort of like two things going on. So I know you've been into your trance mediumship, but you've also got your channeling, your writing. So because he's come in with some amazing, I mean, I saw you a few weeks ago doing trance, and you brought in some amazing messages. It's so profound and just quite life-changing to watch some of the messages that and it was in particular One Feather brought through, because I found that when he was speaking, it was just very simple, but just so, oh my God, so his opinions and things. So some of the written messages he's brought through, what's been your favorite? Have you got one that really stands out?
Honestly, there's so many. The story he told me of his father was very moving and was made me feel very emotional and very close to him, that he would share that information with me. Because when he told me the story about his father being taken and hung, but he also drew a picture. He actually drew the picture first and then told me the story through a channeled message. And when I was drawing the picture, and I was a bit like, why are you showing me this? And once he told me the story, he said to me, I'm telling you this story because you have also suffered loss, and I've lost both of my parents. And he said that he is with his father is with him in the spirit world, and they are united and everything is righted. And he said that because I have experienced loss, he wants me to know that I will also be with my parents again. I will all meet people that I love and have loved in this life. And that gave me enormous comfort. I know it anyway, but to actually hear that from him, and also as like to me, it was a very caring thing to do. It wasn't something that I'd asked for, that I hadn't asked for that confirmation, but he just gave it to me. And I felt it was a very personal thing to do. So I loved that message. And another message he gave me when we very first started to communicate was really important to me, because it was a new energy that I was feeling, and it was very intense. It felt like I knew when he was around me, I could feel the change in the energy. And at times it felt like I know he's not inside me. Spirit doesn't come inside me. It just presses up against my auric field. But it felt like he was inside me. And he told me, he wrote about the closeness of spirit, and that I wasn't to be afraid or scared by his energetic vibration, and that he had lived this life and he understood what that felt like for me, and how he understands how we as humans operate, like physically and things like that, because he was with me all the time. I could feel him. And it was just everything he was giving me was from a perspective of love and kindness, of reassurance. And that helped me massively within my work, because when I understood that actually he wasn't inside me here, he was here to the side, it was like the penny dropped. It was like, yes, that's it. That's what I'm feeling. And it just allowed me in my development to just expand. I've become far more trusting, far more open to what's being said to me. And we had, I say, a wonderful time together, because it was just a period of time where we had this intensity of learning. And then he stepped back, although he's still with me. And I mean, I channeled a message just before we did our interview. So I can call him and he's there, but he's not as forthright as he was. He's sort of stepped back. It's as if he's done what he meant to do, and now he's let me off the lead and off I go.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you've got a toddler and you're sort of holding them all the time,
On
and
the
then okay,
reins.
they can go off. I'm here if you need me.
Yeah.
But also, it must bring so much more confidence through on your work, knowing that if ever you falter, not that you do, but there's that around you, you've just got him to come. He's got your back. So it's a wonderful tool to use in life as well as in your spiritual development.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that you had channeled a message for today.
Yes, I did. Let me get it for you. I'm going to have to read it. Bear with me. So, yes, just before the interview,
I should have got...
Sorry, darling.
No, sorry, carry on. There's a bit there.
So I just sat for a minute, and because I just had this acceptance that they know what's going on. They know what I'm going to be doing anyway. And I was like, have you got a message for anybody? So I'll read it out to you. And he says, as we walk amongst a time of great change and growth on the earth plane, we seek answers and direction from personal experiences, although for many questions still remain. Your spirit guides are around you. Each guide works alongside you, addressing many aspects of your personal journey, much of which remains unknown to you. We endeavour, as we always do, to shine a light as you undertake your stresses and strains of earthly life, presiding over your actions and pointing you towards your chosen direction. Not always open directly, it can become a challenge at times. Your guides love and adore you as you are so loved in the spirit world. We await a time where open communication may flow between us in a connection of recognition, although this is already there unrecognized. Within your capacity to fully evolve, your ability for growth is immense, permanently available to you. At any time you wish for support, you need only ask, and it is given without question. As Dawn reveals her own story to you, I am still only a breath away, as I remain her strong and patient guide as she navigates the earth plane. I am the certainty that never wavers. Allow yourselves the rapid development that comes with a powerful guide connection, allowing channeled messages of love to comfort and support you. My dear soul remembers our first contact, which was at a young age, empowering her soul to remain uplifted and positive in times of struggle. We continue to empower positivity through thought transference and vibration, something we both enjoy. Guides remain close at all times. Nothing needs to be done to make this happen. Just an openness and willingness to allow us into your conscious thoughts. One feather. So that's his message.
That's beautiful.
For everyone. And you know what? And
And
I
again,
can
it just
feel him
brings
now.
forth so. Oh, that's beautiful. So he wants to get in. So show me, he wants to get in on the camera. No, that is so beautiful, so beautiful. And it's such an amazing gift to have bestowed on you. And I know, as we said, we sort of all have this gift and capability, which is something Dawn and I have put together a course that we're going to be starting on the 12th of April. Nearly forgot what month, year, life we're in. So we're going to be starting on the Monday the 12th and Tuesday the 13th. We've got an afternoon and an evening going forward for 4 weeks, where we will be talking about more with what Dawn's experience have been, but also we're going to be helping anybody on the course coming in to connect with their guides, to be open, to have that attunement with their guides, so they can start working into their life, and also to use them if they're doing spiritual work as well, because this helps so much, because this is something we all can do, isn't it, Dawn, on different levels, but we all can have this connection.
Absolutely. And do you know what? It's an untapped resource, I feel. And do you know what? Like when we utilize our intuitive senses, or we connect to our higher self, and we spoke and laughed earlier about the voices in our head, the different personalities that we might have. But it's their guidance tools. And the thing is I never felt before I was able to sit in stillness and meditation that I had truly connected to my guide. And yet, because I do work with feeling, your guides, you don't necessarily need experience, because your guides give you and communicate with you in the way that you can understand. So it is available to everybody. And the very first thing that One Feather gave me was healing. he moved my hands around my body to my energy centers, to my chakras. And I was very much like, oh, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, oh, you're actually going to my energy centers. And it was like I was just talking to myself, but I was talking out loud, and he was just moving stuff around. And then my eyes were closed and I could see the beautiful energy just washing over me. It's such an incredible tool, because in this life, and especially now, when there's so much change and so much uncertainty, and definitely if you're on your spiritual journey and you aren't surrounded by people who appreciate what you're going through, the changes, to have a relationship with your guide is so precious, because they understand you. There is no judgment, that they just have your best interests at heart. It's absolutely incredible. I love it. I just love it.
Do you know, I always feel I'm never alone, because I know that my guides are there. I mean, that's how I feel. So, you know, I know that when I was younger and going through difficult times, I used to feel very alone, quite frightening, and it fed my insecurity. Feel now that I never feel alone, because I'm sort of able to sit and feel more confident and secure. So it is a wonderful gift that we don't tap into. Maybe, and I feel this is with a lot of spiritual life. You know, years ago, it was something perhaps that people did naturally and were encouraged to do. For many years now, you know, if you're talking, oh, mum, I'm talking to someone, they're like, no, you're not, you know, and it's sort of reined in, and oh, don't be silly, you can't talk to people. There's no, there's no other forms of life. There's no life after death. And so it's something we've been pushed away for. But I do feel, especially perhaps the changes we've all been going through, that people are looking for more. We need more. We can't just be on earth on our own, unsupported. You know, we need a spiritual life, not religious life, but that spiritual, well, religious for whoever wants it, but it's more than that. It's that spiritual feeling, isn't it?
Absolutely. And also what I found was really interesting, when I'm always the person that asks questions, lots of questions. And if I've got an ancient spirit with me, I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? What was your life like? I just wanted to know everything, you know, give it to me. And there's another piece that I wrote, which was very interesting, because he talks about our life's contract. So obviously I'm just talking about my own personal belief. Before we come back, there is a contract that is created on how we will live our life, or how we will progress. And what he actually wrote, if you don't mind me reading it, is
I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so he says, so obviously he's sort of talking about our relationship together. So, as I wrote and embedded the cycle of life within the contract, I was able to entwine our first contact in the early stages of my dearest soul's earthly life, at a time when she would accept my appearance and communication without question or alarm. As the contract evolved, my presence became less during the periods of intense growth. Although I was not seen, it was one of my most prevalent influences within our connection, as choices need to be made within the earth plane. My role was to summon her to begin her lessons and understand the outcomes, so that ascension can begin. During this period, I was unwavering in my guidance and protection. This was done through thought transference and intuitive senses, something she took to her incarnation. So he goes on and says, under our influence, she was able to understand that somewhere within herself, she had the answers which took her to a place of patience. Through a time of dissatisfaction and unrest, this knowing of righteous intention allowed her to evolve under my watchful eye at this time, was integral to the many pathways that could have been taken by her. So within that, what he's sort of saying is that before my incarnation, it wasn't just one life's pathway or one life's journey that was available to me. There are many, and this is where I feel our guides are managing in the background, if you like. And when it's when I was learning the most, he was there, but not within my awareness, because it was important for me to make those choices, me to walk on my life's path. But he was still here beside me, guiding me. You know, as he says, that was his most prevalent time of intervention, but without my knowledge. And that to me just, I mean, I just feel so comforted, and that I'm not alone, or that, it's just, I don't know, I can't express it. I just feel quite passionate about it.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. I'm so blessed. And what it reminded me of when you were in is there's a prayer, I think, called Footsteps. And it's, do you know the one I'm referring to? It's like I can see two sets of footsteps going along the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the sand, yeah. And then they say, oh, but when I was going through the hard time, it was only one set, you looked at me, and it was like, no, I was actually carrying you. That's only why there's one set. And that reminds me of your experience, that they have always been there. And as you said, and the decision has to come from you. I mean, your spirit guides or your life guide can only offer their advice or try to direct you into the correct pathway, but they can't. I know my guides, it's no, we told you no 5 years ago and you're still doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually been listening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just something that. Sorry, go on, my darling.
No, carry on.
All I was going to say, it's just something that has become. So when did this first happen? Probably about 5 years ago now. And I have notepads upon notepads of channeled messages, because I went through a period of just this hunger and thirst to know as much as I possibly could. And so I would write every single day. I mean, he used to say, come back tomorrow for your lesson. And I was like, yep, here I am. Let's go. I want to know. I want to know. Tell me. And so, yes, I have, there's so many notepads just full of beautiful messages and guidance, and perspective, actually. And I've been able to ask questions as well, which has been really helpful. And also, my guides have told me about my father's passing, what happened at his passing. So as he passed over to spirit, what he experienced. And I found that very comforting, indeed, as well.
It's wonderful to be able to pass this message on and have the knowledge with all the notes and the messages that you've channeled even. Will you be making a book or putting them together so you can share with us all? What do you feel you're going to, or what do you feel guided to do with all your writing?
Well, at first, it was a very personal experience, and I felt quite protective of it. as in it's mine,
Mm-hmm.
it's all mine. But now I feel very much, because in the beginning, when he came through, and there's another guide who I have another relationship with, called Wanley. They kept saying that it's like they want to do the philosophy, they want to talk about the spirit world, they want to talk about the earth plane, what goes on. And it was their intention in the beginning to actually write a book, not of instruction, but of their lives. And because I was so, I don't know if they could get a word in, because I was like, what are you doing? What did you do? Where did you come from? You know, tell me. I don't think they got much of a chance. But definitely through my work now within trance and channeling in that way, I feel I would like to put it out there if it's something that people want to read and understand about. Because although it was personal to me, when I look back on it now, I realise how deep, how profound it is, and how it applies to everybody, not just me. It applies to everyone.
I'm sure a lot of the messages will bring comfort, you know, like as you said, they explained your father's passing, and messages like this will bring comfort to others when you're ready to share. Bring a lot of comfort to people as well. I mean, you shared a beautiful message in one of your this work is starting to change. I believe. So you used to channel messages that were written messages, but now this channeling, sort of my interpretation of is that you were channeling written messages, but now they're going deeper and deeper. So you're actually going into trance. So it feels a deep level. Would that be correct? And so how do you feel the difference when you're going from you know, sort of just channel into trance? How does it feel for you?
Well, I right from the beginning, I channel all the time in writing, and you'll see a lot of that, if any, because I usually if I do a tarot or an oracle 3-card pull, and then I write the meanings, all those, they're all channeled messages. They're all channeled from spirit or from my guides. So it's just really part of who I am. But I'm very drawn to trance, and I've been pushed in that direction from my guides. Although obviously I love my work, I love mediumship. That's, you know, that's also part of it. I feel that my work within trance will increase. And what I love about it is it's within mediumship, we allow spirit to come in, and we can, from my experience, because I'm feeling it, etc., I can feel that. And now in trance, it's like I can become them, and they can just use me. They can just use my voice and use my physical body to express their stories and their philosophy. And it's not for everybody, I understand that, but I feel, because of my relationship with my guides, I have complete trust, 100% trust in them. And it's such a wonderful feeling. And also, not only can I channel my guides, I can also channel spirit as well. So within that trance state, I can bring through spirit in a way that is different to mediumship. So in a way that I can bring that person, they can use me to speak and to give messages. And I consider that to be a gift.
It certainly is. I mean, the you in doing trance has been absolutely incredible, and what I find incredible is the way Spirit works, through you, because when we were sitting, I think there was just a small group of us, and you were bringing some messages through. You were just channeling, but it was all so profound, and they were messages that us in the group, that all meant something to us. We hadn't asked, like, God, that's just needed to hear today. So it was so fascinating. I think we were also asking your spirits, to explain about the coronavirus, to talk about what's going on in the world, to explain, to give that deep spiritual knowledge, and it was so incredible what the profound understanding or communication came back. And I just remember, I wrote it down, and I wish I'd got it out for today, but it's in one of my books, because we were asking all different questions, and Spirit was like, isn't it enough just to be? Because it was like, you all want to do so much, you're all asking so much, you want to just it's just like, just relax and let things happen, just be. It's enough just to be. I think humans, have you actually got it written down? Is that what
you can see me grappling, can't you? I don't know if I have.
I've got it, but I'm not sure which book I've got it in.
Well, yeah, I have so many.
What's lovely is that the sun is shining through. You've got all the sun rays coming in behind you. Giving out a spiritual message.
Like divine.
Do you know I have? Because I have got it somewhere, but what I was going to ask is has anybody got any questions that would like to ask Dawn while you've got the chance, about how she works? Oh, Julie's also said, I love the sun rays shining on you. Sorry, there's a question there.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm just going to put this up so we can both read it. The question's from Helen. Dawn, do you work in trance alone, or do you work within a circle or a group? I'm being drawn towards trance, always have been, but I have a lot to learn. So I would love to work with an experienced trance mediums, but it's so hard to find a group.
Well, yes, thank you for your question, Ellen. At the moment, I'm being mentored by Kerry Stanfast, and I've sat in Kerry's circle for many years, all throughout my development. And so I have a very close and trusting relationship with Kerry. I was first experienced to trance in circle, and I'm sort of smiling about it, because I remember sitting with the group and with another close friend of mine, Sarah Dodd, and I remember Kerry putting us into trance, and she was going round, and when we was in that trance state, she was asking us if the spirit or guide wanted to speak. And I remember I didn't say anything, and I don't believe I was fully in trance, actually. I feel I was in a sort of a deep state of blend, if you like. But I remember feeling the pressure of, oh my goodness, I need to speak. I don't know how to do this. How is it going to work? And I remember my friend Sarah actually speaking, and I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. That's amazing. And it sort of piqued my interest. But I don't believe that I was actually channeling with my guides at that point. I knew that I had a sort of a leaning towards it, because Kerry put on an evening of sort of physical mediumship, which I went to, and trance was part of that. And we all experienced going into a trance state. And when I went in, because Kerry sort of spoke about old-fashioned trance, when there's a lot of, you can really hear my breathing, like I get a bit of a rattle as well, and that's because I'm able to surrender myself enough for spirit to use me, to use me physically as well. So at the moment, my trance is with my mentor, and I completely agree with you. You have to be in a safe environment. And personally, I believe in a one-to-one. Like, I know Selena's spoken about seeing me in trance, and that has been with Kerry as the control. So it is really important to be with, I feel like, the one-to-one, working on a one-to-one level with someone, especially in the beginning while you're finding your feet, because it's not there's a vulnerability there because you're giving yourself over, and so you do need somebody that's experienced to be with you, definitely. But hopefully in the future, it would be something that I would like to, to take forward and to teach. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying this process of being able to get. I want the full experience. I want the transfiguration. I want the voice and everything. And so until I can do that, then I'll just stay this side of it and not the teaching side.
Okay, that's lovely. I've got another question. I found the piece of paper that I wanted. So I'm going to just question which. Oh no, he's moved.
Oh, Torrin.
Is that right? Hi, Yvonne. Happy birthday, Yvonne. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yvonne's on. Hi. Hi, Tarun. And first of all, before we look at Jim's question, I just wanted to say, now I forget the question we'd asked, but I think we were just sort of, when you get somebody in trance, so it's like, tell me. I think the three of us were asking me questions. And I'm not sure which guide you were talking to. I'm not sure if it was Onely at the time. I've got a feeling it was, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
But your guide came through with, isn't it enough to just be? Life is a celebration and can even be incredible, and yet it is not enough. We are all here to observe. We search for guidance, but we are guides. Take away the human experience and just listen to your inner voice. And I'm sure there was more to it because I was squiggling it all down, but it was really just sort of say, I felt that the message was saying, we as humans, we complicate life so much and keep looking for things on perhaps more of a material plane. And it's never enough. Nothing's ever enough for us all, is it? So it's like, it's just, it can be such an incredible celebration of, you've just got this amazing gift of life, and yet it's not enough for you. You all want this, you all want that, and it was so. Yeah, it was so lovely to listen to Onely with that, or you, or Onely, both of you.
Who knows? Who knows who's there? I'm sorry about this sun. It's
and
like
a question. Oh no, it's beautiful. It looks like, have you seen the light? Okay, and there's a message from Jim. Can you say more about your raising vibrations, your ascension work?
Well, do you know what? I have to credit not only my mentor and the wonderful girls that I work alongside, Selena being one of them, but I do have to credit my guides for this, because I have such a deep appreciation now for life, and a deeper understanding of what it means to just be aware and happy and alive, as Selena was just saying. I feel as if my life has changed in a way that I just seek to understand. There's so much negativity around, so much, there's so many feelings of people missing out on things, of people voicing their anger and their views and their opinions, and everybody has a right to a view and an opinion, but we need to be leading with love and understanding of others. That is where my ascension work, if you like, comes in, where I'm striving more and more to live in peace. And there are things that I can't influence. I can't influence world peace. I can't influence people to not be angry or to lash out to others. But the way that I behave, the way that I treat other people should be the pebble that you drop in the water, and the ripple effect comes out. That's how it should be. And I have changed massively. I would have been the person that, you know, road rage and all this sort of thing. And now I'm just, you know, everything just washes over me, because we have such a short period of time here on this beautiful earth with people that we love. And it's no good missing people when they're gone. We need to love them now. We need to express our feelings. We need to communicate. I even feel like I'm channeling now, but we need to communicate. We need to love and to trust and to live the best way we possibly can. And that's not me being self-righteous in any way, and I'm not judging, but we need to be more open. And the thing is simplicity is key. There's no magic wand, no magical pathway that we need to go down to bring us to our ascension. We just need to live a good life. And it's okay for us to make mistakes, to do things wrong, but we need to be able to assess and then to do things better next time. I don't want anybody to miss out on life. Life is for living, and, you know, just really to do the things we want to do. And this is why I feel, do you know what I miss the most? I am a hugger. I've always been a hugger. When words aren't enough, yes, I will just step forward and, you know, I'll put my arms around you. They say, don't they, if you haven't got, if you're struggling, you know, if you're struggling, or you just don't know what to say, if you're going through a lot of hurt, then I'm good at sitting in silence too. And it is just about being there for people. And this is what lockdown has done, is taken away that ability to be there and to just love and nourish other souls. And that's going to be a big thing for me. When this is lifted, you know, it's going to be like, you know, when you see all the lipstick on the dog where it goes around kissing everybody, that's going to be me. I'm just going to go around like kissing and hugging everybody. That's going to be me.
Yeah, I think, oh, well, do you know what I think the thing that's taught us so much? I mean, it has been such a hard period and such a long time now with lockdown, but that it has taught us perhaps to, you know, referring back to Wanli's message, it has taken us back to think it is just enough just to be, just to live, you know, because before perhaps we all get involved in the rat race, that what it's all about, what the meaning, and just to be grateful. And as he says, life is just a celebration, you know, it should just be enough. Just looking at Julie's comments saying, oh God, run, because you're going to go kissing everybody.
Yeah, Julie, you're on my list. Oh, you're on my list.
On my list. to the end. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
but we will be
wow.
back in a couple of weeks' time for the new. We'll get back into the sort of routine of the new moon, full moon. And if anybody wants any information about I'm a hugger myself. Huggers can get back out there. Yeah. Do you know what? I've even been hugging the trees. As I was hugging the tree the other day out, and my husband rolled his eyes and said, "Oh, what is that? Another cure for COVID?" The tree restore energy. Oh dear. But yeah, if anybody wants any information, you can contact Dawn through Dawn Smith psychicmedium.com. Is it, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, dawnsmithpsychicmedium.com. I've got my profile or my page on Facebook. You'll find me. But Selena, we're not going to be using this StreamYard service anymore, are we?
That's right. Next time we come on live, we're just going to come live straight on into the Facebook group that we have. So if you could all at some stage make your way over to the Spiritual Workshop community group, because we don't want to continue doing Facebook Lives, especially through this StreamYard, because we've had so much stress and upset through having too many people coming on, too many scammers coming on and saying inbox me, and then they go and inbox people that are watching the live, and the people that are watching the live think it's me and Dawn, so they're paying, so it's just been a bit of a mess. So we're going to go just into the group. I think we may go on, but we'll be going through Facebook anyway, so keep an eye out for when we're live. If you want to get in touch with any of us, if you'd like your name to go on the list for the course, please get in touch, because we're starting that on the 12th at 5 to 7, 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock, I should say, not 5 to 7. And then we're also doing the daytime session on Tuesday the 13th, 1 to 3. There's 1, 3, 1, 3. Oh. So, and the course is going to be for 4 weeks, and each session is about 2 hours long, and there will be a little bit of homework.
Just a little
but it's
bit.
all good fun stuff. Yeah, so if you'd like to join in the course, please come along, and get in touch. So thank you everyone for coming on, and thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing your experience.
Yeah, thank you. It's been lovely talking about it, and just wonderful. Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Right, everybody.
Bye.
Oops. It's still on. Oh, look, 17:17. I've just got on 17 people watching us. 17.